does a man have to leave home in search of a wife? Because like I was saying, all the married men on the panel, it's kind of unanimous. They kind of have left home in search of their wives. So what's your take on it?
I'm gonna just say it like this, that I've been married before, so like it's a yes. I think you should venture out, get with somebody outside of your comfort zone, and get to know somebody different is key. You know what I'm saying? When you in a town like, come on, Aliquippa, you bound to hear, even small town, I'll just say that, you bound to hear something about the female you selected that could be somebody else, baby mama. I mean, it's just what it is. I think a man should venture out. Like, yeah, we all got that person be like, dang, I wish I would. And ain't nothing wrong with that, having that love in the hood. But like, how do you miss out on experiencing other stuff, other people, other culture, other life, when you just say, oh, you know what, I'll find the best one in the hood. All right, go ahead, try that. You go know somebody that knows somebody that know your woman. At some point, one of them might be your cousin. You never know. It be like that.
That's real shit.
So you might as well just, it's okay. Let me go over to Ohio. Let me go down to over to New York. Somewhere else. If they be like, yeah, I'm from Aliquippa too, run. You need to, because nowadays, these moms, if they so connected in one unit like that, you know what you're going to run into? Some conniving stuff. You'll be ready to kill somebody. It ain't worth all that. Okay. Go experience other people in other life. Because a lot of us only know around here. I had, even though I was married, I've been divorced. Best thing I did, even though she was from the area, we left. You know what I'm saying? I got to see the world a little bit more than what I knew. I know the hill, playing 12. These mugs is only experiencing playing 12, Lynn Mar, downtown, Hopewell, maybe.
Yep.
Center too high for people. Nah, get the hell out this damn state. I left. Go see something. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? My perspective changed. So yes, I think like, yeah, somebody that knows something way different that's opposite. Because opposites are supposed to attract.
I agree with most of what everyone was saying, that yes, more often than not, that is the case that actually happens in reality. But you do have cases where you can meet someone from where you're from. It just depends on where home is. If it's a small community where everyone knows everyone's business, then no, that's not going to be a favorable option for you, because it's going to bring problems. Because yes, he knows who I used to be with, she knows all this, and you just don't want that kind of vibe or words following you every time and in your marriage. So I do agree with that. But then if you're from a good community or a place that is big enough where you have known this person since you were growing up and you have been really innocent about the process, sure, that can be your person too. And then I also agree with, it's gonna come when you are ready. It's all about your mindset, because if you're not ready, there's no way you can be ready for someone else.
So there you go. I think that's what we said, Donnell and Lawson. We had to get ourselves ready. So
what does that mean? That's kind of cliche, though, right?
Okay,
so, let's not throw these ambiguous terms around. Let's get real granular, right?
All right, well, get yourself together. Be willing to be monogamous. Start off there. I'm pretty sure that's what we all lead to, and just mature. Deal with issues growing up in a small town like Aliquippa, dealing with past traumas, getting yourself together, coming to terms with who you are, what you got to deal with, what you up against, developing some goals, sticking to them, getting yourself together.
I'm gonna say to kind of extend that a little bit, but like for me, it was honestly, I honestly didn't prepare myself. I wasn't looking to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? Just so happened we crossed paths. But what I will say that is I was still ready. And what I mean by that is that you got to be ready to listen and understand and feel that vibe. You know what I mean? Like you got to be ready in that fashion. It's not like, all right, let me go clean my crib, get myself together here, and then just think you about to just be ready. Like you got to actually listen out for that vibe because, you know, a lot of times we might pass up on a woman because we may think they may not be for us because they challenged us in a certain way. But in reality, you know, you need that challenge. You need that push. You know what I mean? So we kind of just throw that off like, nah, we don't want to be challenged. So now, because you're not ready to take that challenge, you're not ready to listen and really take on what's the real responsibility. So I think that a lot of us, you know, when it comes down to being ready, the main thing is just actually being ready to all the way like feel it. Like you really have to feel it. Like it's an energy thing when it comes down to it.
I think that's where a lot of black men fail with black women also is stepping up to the plate and accepting that challenge, because that's one thing a black woman is going to do is challenge you. She gonna hold your foot, your hand, your ear to the fire, and you will be challenged. And that's where a lot of black men falter away, because what comes up, those memories and thoughts of mom and grandma, and because they, you know what I mean, they put that same challenge, same challenges, and put that same force on you, and the young black men, they get to that same challenge, and they might get that female and the young black female. Well, what are you gonna do? What's your plans? What are we gonna do in the next 5 years? And blah blah blah. That might be too much for that young man, so he gonna shy away from that young black woman. But here is the thing, like you just said, Darnell, you got to be ready to step up to that challenge. You know what I mean? And that comes from experience of being around. Just that comes from just living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
You might have had 2 or 3 failed relationships before, or you might have said, okay, this is where I went wrong, or I need to have this ready or intact before I move forward with anything else. You know what I mean? Like, but that's where I think personally, that's where a lot of young black men fell with black women, is that challenge and that putting in that extra work and going that, you know what I mean? It ain't even extra work, just putting in that work, period.
Yeah, for real.
And you know what I mean? And I really hate for it to see a young black man taking the easy route. You know what I mean? Okay, so you found somebody that got everything lined up and you just gonna fall right into the line. But when that's gone, then what? You know what I mean? What do you have for yourself? What can you do for yourself? How can you speak on yourself? You know what I mean? And a lot of us, we don't take the time in our younger lives to build ourselves up and correct ourselves before we step into these things. So we come into these relationships with all these past traumas and different,
Yes, sir.
and you know what I mean? We carry that baggage, and it ain't fair to the person you with, and the person you with probably carrying baggage that ain't fair to you. So it's you know what I mean? You know, it's a disconnect. And we definitely got to work on ourselves before we approach that and be better for one another.
I gotta Devo, you put the nail like into something that like I personally have to see. Like my mom always told me, like, Antoine, you need to go find you a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And every person that I've been with, I was fucked up because of the drinking. You know what I'm saying? Majority of them are black women. You know what I'm saying? But I never really, how you just stated that, saying that like you need that, like that, like how your grandma and shit, like in your life, like that black woman gonna hold you accountable for your shit. I think like a little bit of that got to do with me, like am growing within my recovery as well, because I'm like I'm being honest, like I'm afraid of that. That's why I stay away from black women, because I'm personally afraid of that shit. Like I don't want to date like not like like my sister. My sister's strict, You know what I'm saying? I know how she run her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, if I found a woman like that, I wouldn't be able to, you know, I don't like all that shit, you know? So I go date the white woman, and it's more more relaxable for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to deal with all that shit. But that's just me. I'm still growing within my recovery, but I'm just being honest. Like, I'm afraid of that black woman. Like, but you ain't checking me. Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just speaking for real. Like, I'm afraid of that shit.
But
You
a lot
can't
of
feel right.
black men
Can I
are
say
though.
something?
A lot of black men are, man. That's the reason why there's a big disconnect. Like when it comes down to the black woman, yeah, we want to sex you up all day, but when it comes down to commit to that black woman, you know, these fellas not, you know what I'm saying? Hey, step up to the challenge. Let's do this for real. Nah, they want to be in the streets. They want to get to the next black woman, get between some cheeks, and then on to the next after that. They're not trying to settle down and commit. And you know what I mean? Like it's hard because a lot of these black young men, they don't have the examples. You know what I mean? That they to show them how to be headstrong up here, not headstrong down below. You know what I mean? And it's hard. You know, when you think about it, as young men or even grown men, old men, hell, you know what I mean? They can walk down and see a fine woman. You know, the old men be talking shit the most. You know what I mean? So, you know, just overall though, you know, we still had a time to where, you know, the men were the example. I mean, it's just hard, bro. I mean, shit, I can't really even say that truthfully because back in the day they was sexing it up, goddamn too. Shit, but goddamn, shit, I don't know, man. But yeah.